My name is Kelechi. I am an actor and I have featured in several TV series, movies and web series. It's been an interesting acting career for me here in the beautiful city of Lagos. However, like most young people in Lagos, I am looking for an affordable space to rent or to own. As I make progress in my career, it has become compelling for me to secure adequate housing for myself and also grow a family. I'll be speaking to people of different social classes to tell us their story of how they have gone about renting or owning a house in the city of Lagos.
Banana Island is Nigeria's most extravagant and expensive neighborhood. It is Africa's highest concentration of billionaires per square meter.
Kelechi would find it difficult to buy a house in an area like Banana Island or Nikon Estate or Parkview Estate because there is a housing deficit in Lagos, which has made housing very expensive. The land in areas that are sort of like Banana Island is extremely expensive, which also makes the houses expensive because developers who build on that land need to recoup their profits, so they pass that cost on to the buyer. If Kelechi is on a middle income, he'll find it difficult to afford the prices on offer in Banana Island. Moreover, there are no affordable financial methods of purchasing a house on debt. So we don't have mortgage financing readily available through banks, which would allow him to put down a deposit and then pay the balance of the house's value over the rest of his life. So unfortunately, I think Kelechi would probably have to save most of his life before he could afford a house like Banana Island at today's prices.
Hey, T.
Kelechi, how you doing?
Nice to see you, bro. Yes.
What brings you here?
I'm looking for a house.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice, fantastic.
Something like that.
Okay, that's Banana Island. Yeah, lovely apartments we have for sale there.
Yes, I've heard about Banana Island. I've never been there.
Really? You should go. You should go. Highball area, one of the most exquisite in Nigeria.
It involves a lot of cash, right?
Absolutely. It's absolutely upscale.
Quick question. Why is it that all these new developing places are all just 50 million, 60 million, 100 million?
These places are even significantly higher than that. it just depends on location, right? So it depends on, where in the market you want to plug into. So different locations, they connote different prices.
Kelechi's dreams of owning a house in an area like Banana Island are nevertheless very valid. After all, Banana Island was built with public money. It was built with federal government funds and then later sold to a private developer, which is something a lot of people don't realize. Moreover, there is a concept in urban design and urban planning called mixed income housing, which sets aside a certain portion of housing for affordability, so that middle income to low income earners can afford to live in those areas. If we were to implement these kinds of policies in Lagos across all neighborhoods, Banana Island, Parkview Estate, in other neighborhoods, we would have a more inclusive city so that anyone potentially could own a house in Banana Island, including Kelechi.
Most of these developers are always building and developing for people with a high income. What can be done? What of the low income earners?
Kelechi, you're absolutely right. Most developers that you find are always building for high tier, and perhaps because there is no regulation, there's nobody insisting that they absolutely build for the low income. You would understand that in the high to mid income, the developers will averagely think that those people have a lot of cash, more earning potential, so they are building for them. But that's why we have such a huge deficit, because the people that actually need the homes are in the lower mid income. So I think that definitely a lot of policies have to come into play, to enforce this. A number of policies can be put in place. For instance, governments are the number one policy makers, and interestingly, they are the ones that hold land. So if government wants to stimulate affordable housing, for instance, they could say, once you're an affordable housing developer, registered, okay, we will give you land at a lower rate so that your construction costs and your general production cost is lower, and that way you can sell or rent at a lower margin. That is one policy that would absolutely stimulate affordable housing.
We can learn from other countries who have done this successfully, such as Germany. In Munich, for example, when developers propose a development of housing, the government requires them to set aside about 30% of the units for affordable housing. Those units are exactly the same as the other units in terms of the quality and in terms of the distribution of units. However, they're affordable because the government subsidizes the development to make it affordable for the developer so that he can still make his profit back.
See, Kelechi, it's not just one approach. It has to be a myriad of approaches. See, in these other countries that I've made mention of, they attack it from different ways. For instance, they also apply what we call cross subsidies. All right, so cross subsidization works this way. So, for instance, if what you're allowed to build on a tract of land is 50% of that land, or you're allowed to go just 2 floors. If a government wants to stimulate affordable housing, they can say, well, hey, Mr. Developer, we will allow you go 5 floors, or we'll allow you build on 80% of the land. But what you just need to do is that because now you're going to earn more income by building on more land, so to say, you would have to build a portion of it that is affordable.
Okay.
That doesn't cost the government anything.
Yeah, sure.
It just puts more money in the developer's pocket, but also ensures houses are made available for the people.
In any city around the world, there will always be neighborhoods for the rich and neighborhoods for the poor. But there should be some degree of mixture between those two. And there should be some degree of mobility between the two so that it's possible for people to move neighborhoods comfortably. I think that this would be of benefit to Lagos to adopt policies for mixture in areas like Banana Island and in other areas.
So, assuming all these policies are now in place, when we spoke about it from the development perspective, so they are now absolutely affordable houses on the market. Because government has played a role in ensuring that the developer is able to make those houses affordable, they then earn the right to control prices. I mean, as we have it right now, if any government is saying control prices, rent at a certain price, the average developer will say, hey, you didn't do anything to help me to achieve my build cost. So you can't control prices. But if the policies are in place to help developers onward get the houses built affordably, then the government has some right and indeed must then influence the prices that property is finally sold.
So we have areas in Lagos which are exclusively for the rich, and everybody knows those areas, and we have areas which are exclusively for the poor. And we have basically a segregated city. I think most people would prefer to live in a city which is inclusive and a city which is more egalitarian, where we don't have massive concentrations of wealth and massive concentrations of poverty.
So where are you renting or where are you buying now? Nice to see you, Kelechi.
Yes, that's
always great seeing you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mixed income housing is a laudable idea which is feasible in Lagos. It will bring about a robust social network, social controls, and behavioral modification.